Oh wow, I felt the back end kind of dancing a little bit on that. That was great. Hello everyone, I'm Derek, this is There Will Be Cars, and on this channel I review new vehicles. So there will be trucks, there will be SUVs, and of course there will be cars. And one of those is the 2019 Mercedes E63S Wagon that I've had the pleasure of spending a week with. It raises the question, does the world need a 603 horsepower station wagon? And that makes me think of the questions, did the world need a Range Rover Evoque convertible, or a Nissan Murano convertible, or a Chevy SSR convertible pickup truck? Well, the answer to all those questions is no. But the beauty of the car market is that if you're one of those people that wants something odd and eccentric and obscure and really strange, like a convertible pickup truck or a 600 horsepower hot rod station wagon, you can buy it. As it sits, this E63S Wagon goes for $139,000. That is definitely a steep price, whether you're talking about a dedicated performance machine or especially a station wagon. Let's go ahead and fire it up. All right, so we're on the road in the E63S Wagon, and right now I've just got it in comfort mode. Of course, have the exhaust open. Throttle response is relaxed. This car's not trying to tear my head off. It knows that I just want to go at a nice, easy pace, as easy a pace as a 603 horsepower car can manage, at least. It's a lot more comfortable than the previous 63S vehicles that I've driven. The first one was a C63S Coupe. And even in comfort mode, that car's ride quality was absolutely brutal. It didn't matter the pavement, it just was bone jarring. And then the GLC 63S Coupe, that was a little more comfortable, but it still had this sort of harshness to it. This is a lot more comfortable and livable. On the road, this car is impressively quiet. There's not really any sort of wind noise or anything like that coming off of the mirrors. Really, the only thing I hear in this car is from the tires, but that's about it. I mean, other than that, it is pretty quiet as you would expect a Mercedes vehicle to be. We're on these back roads. I've got the car in sport mode. You might be able to hear the exhaust, it's a little more vocal. Even in comfort mode, the steering is substantial, heavy, very solid, very planted, and that feeling is only heightened when I put the car in sport mode. This car is fitted with the optional carbon ceramic brakes, and here and there at low speeds they'll make a little bit of noise, but for the most part they're pretty quiet, very progressive. They don't snatch and grab, they're not over eager or anything like that. Here we go. Open it up on the straightaway. Woo! All right. So now we got carrying a little bit of speed. Got it on the overrun there. Very planted. You can obviously feel the dampers stiffen up, but surprisingly, it's not that rough. And I got the head-up display right there, so that definitely helps, because when you're unleashing a car with 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque through all four wheels, you want your eyes on the road, definitely. And what I'm seeing right now is great. The person in front of us is going to turn off, so we're going to have, hopefully, the road in front of us nice and open. Here we go. Just how substantial the car is in the curves. I mean, it's just hunkering down. I really like that. And of course, it's around the power through all four wheels, so you have that added feeling of security and confidence. So now I'm going to put it in Sport Plus. Keeps the exhaust open, which is nice. One thing that's kind of bothersome is if I have the car in comfort mode with the exhaust open and then I switch it to sport, it goes into sport, but then it shuts off the active exhaust. So I have to push that button again. But going from sport with the exhaust open to sport plus, it just keeps the pipes flowing, so I don't have to mess with that. You think station wagon, oh, it's gonna, you know, be this big clunky mess, but yeah, it's pretty dang flat. Plenty of power, definitely. And what I like about this is that they didn't really neuter this car in terms of its functionality. The exterior design is sleek. It is a good-looking, you know, sexy car. They made it look sleek and attractive and sporty, but, you know, there's a good deal of space in the back, so they didn't limit its functionality for the sake of it being a performance car. And on that end of things, they obviously didn't hold anything back as far as performance, because this is an absolute monster. That was just a shameless pull. I just wanted you to hear the sound of this thing. This car makes me think of the Jaguar XF Sport Brake S, and it makes me wish that they went as far with that car as Mercedes-AMG did with the E63S Wagon. When I reviewed that Sport Brake S, it was a 2018. At that time, there was the first edition and then the S. And the S used a supercharged V6, 380 horsepower. I really enjoyed the car. The styling, the performance, the luxury features and things like that. Of course, being a horsepower junkie, I wish they would have made an SVR of that. And I get why they didn't, you know, but it doesn't stop me from wishing they did. But Mercedes-AMG is really good about AMGing all of the things, and they did that with this wagon. I mean, they didn't just stop at, oh, you know, we put a V8 in the E-Class wagon, or we made a oh wow, I felt the back end kind of dancing a little bit on that. That was great. Anyway, like I was saying, Mercedes didn't just put a V8 in the E-Class wagon or make an E63 wagon. They went all the way to the end and they made an E63S. To me, it's definitely got the hot rod quality that you would expect out of a full-bore AMG model, but it's also done a great job of being a spacious station wagon. AMG put the night package on this, as well as an exterior carbon fiber package. The front splitter is carbon fiber, so are the side skirts, and the front fender trim. When this car got dropped off, I noticed that there was something a little odd, as you can see right here. There's a piece of carbon fiber trim that's supposed to go there. And the delivery driver told me, he said, yeah, it wasn't loose or anything, it just came off on the highway. As well as the insert for the rear diffuser. The side mirror caps are covered in carbon fiber as well, but those are a standalone option. There are three main things that give this car its look and its sound. One of the optional add-ons are these black 20-inch wheels. They got that center lock look to them. The second feature are those large AMG carbon ceramic brakes. They also add about $9,000 to the final price of this car. Aside from the blacked out wheels and the crazy carbon ceramic brakes, this is the main thing that makes the E63S Wagon so insane. This twin turbo 4-liter hand-built V8. Thanks, Marcel. Generates 603 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque, and uses a 9-speed automatic and all-wheel drive to get it to the road. And then back here you see two of the outlets for the AMG Performance exhaust. It sounds terrific. I'll give you a listen to it starting up and idling and going through the various dynamic select modes. show you some of the interior highlights here. So you've got this contrast stitching, these ribbed panels, plenty of carbon fiber, seat controls on the door. This is one touch I especially love, the adjustable thigh bolster, which you can see right there. 3-stage heating, cooling, and then this allows you to adjust the heating and cooling and even position of the passenger seat. Of course, there's even more carbon fiber on the dashboard. It also surrounds this center stack here. Now right here you can see this IWC clock, which is a nice touch. My main issue with it is not who makes it or how it looks, it's the fact that down here it just goes to waste. I don't really see the point of it, because if I'm checking the time in this car or any car these days, my eyes are gonna be up here where the main gauges are or where the infotainment screen is, maybe as far down as right here on the dash. If I'm looking for the time, my eyes never go here. It's a nice piece, but for me at least, it goes to waste, and that's a shame. One thing I really love about this car are these sports seats. Very racy, very form-fitting, and unlike other sports seats I've seen in other vehicles, they have a cooling function in addition to heat. Surprisingly, the second row is not short on space. You can actually fit adults back here. So as you can see, I've got plenty of leg room back here and obviously plenty of sunshine. I'm 5'10" and I have no problem fitting back here comfortably. It's nice that there's a pair of rear HVAC vents, and then down here, we've got a pair of charging options. This right here. This really came in handy earlier. I plugged in a car vacuum to this plug and used it to clean up the interior. If you need to free up more cargo space, you can just pull on this switch right here and the seats automatically lay down. And of course you just repeat that on the other side. The E63S may be a hot rod, but it's definitely still a wagon. It's got usable amount of cargo space in the back. As you can see, it fits my camera case, my briefcase, and my tripod. And I've left that partially extended just to give you an idea of how much this can fit. It's surprisingly roomy back here. I've been able to fit everything I need to fit. In case any of you horsepower junkies out there care to know, the E63S Wagon does hold about a week's worth of groceries for 2 people. Okay, so that's it for my time with the 2019 Mercedes-AMG E63S Wagon. There is so much about this car to want. It looks fantastic. It actually performs as a station wagon. It did everything I needed it to do as a station wagon. And the back seat was comfortable. And it performed like a red-blooded, all-out 63S AMG performance car should. It had the looks, it had the sound, it had the performance. The steering was heavy and substantial. The carbon ceramic brakes were so well tuned. The exhaust sounded fantastic. The transmission was not quite as fast-acting or predictive or intuitive as other transmissions that I've tested, but it's up there among the best gearboxes that I've tested. So all of its strong suits aside, the world still doesn't need a car like this. But for people who want a car that's distinctive, odd, offbeat, functional, and a lot of fun, it's a good thing this car exists. I'd like to go ahead and thank you for watching this review. It's been a lot of fun testing this car. I hope you had fun watching it and hearing it. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to There Will Be Cars yet, please go ahead and subscribe. There will be more content coming, and I hope you're here to watch it.